All right. Meanwhile, President Trump wants Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan returned to the U.S. It was lost to the Taliban during the Biden administration's disastrous withdrawal 4 years ago.
Lucas Tomlinson is in Washington with those details. Hey, Lucas.
Good morning, Charlie, Rachel, and Griff. President Trump issuing a new warning to the Taliban, promising harsh consequences if Afghanistan does not return Bagram Air Base to the U.S. military. The president posting this, quote, "If Afghanistan doesn't give Bagram Air Base back to those who built it, the United States of America, bad things are going to happen." Now, Bagram was first built by the Soviets back in the 50s. Later, it was expanded during the 1980s during the Soviet-Afghan War. It wasn't until after 9/11 that the base came into the possession of the U.S. military, used as a hub of operations against the Taliban and al-Qaeda, of course. The base stood strong for decades until it was abandoned under the Biden administration when it was turned over to Afghan forces when the U.S. withdrew secretly in the middle of the night back in 2021. And just a month later, it was captured by the Taliban on the same day Kabul fell. Now the president saying this about Bagram last night.
Mr. President, you mentioned in your remarks at the press conference something about Bagram and bringing it back to the U.S.
I'd like to get Bagram back. And there was gross incompetence to give that up. You know, it's one of the most powerful bases in the world in terms of runway strength and length. The strength and length. You can land anything on there. You can land a planet on top of it.
It's not clear when U.S. forces could return to Afghanistan. And guys, I've been your backup anchor now for about 2 hours here in Washington. I've been getting paid to watch the show. Easiest money I've ever made, guys.
All right, Lucas Tomlinson doing a great job there.
Thank you, Lucas.
So this is pretty interesting and didn't see this coming, but there were many that argued way back during the disastrous withdrawal that this was a bad idea. The significance of Bagram Air Base so close to neighboring the neighborhood that it sits in. So the Washington Post, in an editorial, has this headline, and they write this: "A U.S. return to Bagram isn't a bad idea. The abandoned airfield in Afghanistan was once a symbol of American power. Trump wants it back." And I think the thinking could be, I don't know, and President Trump could have speak directly to it, is that it was strategic not only because ISIS-K continues to fight with the Taliban to this day, so we would have a presence there to lean into that, but also its proximity to China.
Yes, the proximity to China is an important point, right, Charlie?
Yeah, and I love that it still really makes President Trump really, really mad that all that money was lost when Joe Biden managed to create that catastrophe of a withdrawal.
Yeah, he still talks about the weapons and the vehicles. Some of those weapons, by the way, ending up in, being shipped off and used there in Afghanistan, but also sent to other...
Sold?
Yeah, sold to other... And that's ours. And President Trump was absolutely, disgusted with how that ended.
And rightly so.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.